show you how to set up the VM instances required for setting up a MySQL cluster in the Oracle Cloud. So I'm going to focus on setting up the compute instances that are required. You also need to set up a virtual cloud network, but that's something I will not talk about in this video. It's essentially just making sure that the ports used by MySQL 3306, 33060 and 2202 and 1186, that they are open in the network. And so, well, when you create the VM instance, you simply click here on Create VM Instance. The instance gets automatically a name. You should choose Oracle Linux 7, because that's what we developed the AutoInstaller to work with. It doesn't necessarily work with any operating system and any. You can choose the availability domain. So if you want to set up a very highly available cluster, you might want to have the data node instances and the MySQL servers in different availability domains. Here we're just going to show an example. So we're going to only be in 81. You can set up virtual machine types, or you can set up a bare metal machine. So let's just see what the virtual machine shapes you have access to. So as you can see, you can have one CPU core up to 24 for the standard, and then you have some AMD CPU variants. You have some dense I/O variants that contains local SSDs. You also have the option to select the bare metal machine. There are not so many of those, but it's a 52 core machine, or a 64 core AMD machine, or a dense I/O machine with 52 cores. And there's also some older variants that. And so only the dense I/O has local disks. The other one has basically a boot disk. We're going to select the virtual machine. We're going to select, oops. There we go. And so this virtual machine has, as you can see here, a boot volume size of 46.6 gigabytes. That's quite enough for us for just this experiment. In order to access the instance from the internet from your local machine, you actually need to assign it a public IP address. And finally, you need to either choose a SSH key file. In my case, it's called idr_rsa.pub. You can also just cut and paste the key into this window here. So that's required. You also have some advanced options where you can choose a fault domain, for example. You can even have some cloud init script files that you have attached to this particular machine. So you can basically just have it after the machine has started. You can add your own script that does whatever you like. So that's all there is to it. And in my case, I already done this. So I already created 3 instances for my experiment, or at least 2. So just looking into the setup here, and you can see here that the important thing here is to remember the public IP address, because that's the address that you will list in the setup of the MySQL Cluster AutoInstaller. The other things here is not that important, but as you can see here, you can see the CPU utilization, memory utilization, disk read, so you can actually see what happened when you ran MySQL Cluster in this instance. Okay, that's it for this video.